Hey everybody, this is another video in our tutorial video series for Good Steward. In the previous video, we talked about how to create an account and whether on budget or off budget, how to import transactions, and so that you can have your transactions in this register, in this ledger, and then how to categorize an account so that these transactions can be matched to a category that matters to you, and then that allows you to start tracking. If it's tracked under the mapped to a category, then it allows you to track your real expenses under the categories. So if you go to tracking view, last time we noticed because we added a bunch of transactions for August, and so we can see that August we have actual spending for the item that we had you know uh, mapped to a category for the various transactions. Um, However, you will also see that there is no budget numbers. That's because we have not set a budget. And so today we want to go through how to set up a budget. Now we have a few ways to do this. Most apps support this monthly view where you can just put in the numbers along the way, and then you carry it over each month to the next month. And if you go to September, let's say if my income is say $4,000 and my mortgage is 2,300. Okay, and then so now these numbers show up. But if you want to go to the next month, well, you don't have these numbers, and you have to carry it over. You can do this by copy last month's budget. Um, again, most budget apps support the monthly view, but a good steward think of it differently because we really think that the important thing that helps you manage your finances is to be able to plan proactively. So we support this planning view that allows you to set up a budget for the entire year. When you first come here, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but essentially this is a 12-month grid from beginning of the year to the end of the year. And uh, these numbers you can just put in. If you know your numbers really well, you can just put in each month, and then it becomes part of your budget. So we'll put it this name earlier in the monthly view, and so this is your budget number for that month. Of course, if you know really well, you could try to do this, but nobody is going to want to spend a whole lot of time just filling in the number one by one, because most of your budget might be recurring, and you might want to plan in a more strategic way. And so we have some of these functions that help with that. One of the ways we're going to help is so you can reset budget to zero. That makes it easier to um, uh, there you go. So to reset your budget and then create a new one, because you can do it for the next year as well. Another thing we can do is set last month's average. What this does is basically, if your assumption is that if you're starting and you don't know your budget very well, and then the best way to get approximate answer is to actually track your expenses for these with 3 months of transaction, and then average it out, and that sort of probably represents the closest picture to your actual budget, and then you can go adjust from there. And so that's another quick way to do that. But in terms of proactive planning, what we like to do is allow people to create a conceptual budget template and then sort of adjust the numbers until they're happy with it, and then apply. So you click on this. What it does is sliding out this budget template builder, and then in each one, all of your categories are there, and for each category you sort of have your frequency and your amount as you see fit. And so what you can do is, for example, if I get paid every 2 weeks, I'll put it in. I'll say $2,000 every 2 weeks. If I, make donations to some kind of charity, I can say monthly I gave $100. Um, if you then you can do your things like mortgage, 300, property tax is 300, and home insurance is 200, and such. So and this allows you to do other things as well. For example, you could do utilities, and some utility, for example, my water is every other month. I can say every 2 months, and I'll say it's $150. And what it does, like you can see, is it when you put in a frequency and put in your amount for that frequency, that's what you know based on your billing cycle, and then it calculates automatically your monthly average and yearly total, and that allows you to basically build a budget, apply equally to the right side. And so let's fill a few things here. Let's say every month I spend money on um, $100 on internet, $50 on phone, and I'm not gonna fill all of it. I don't have car cost, but I have a $300 a month gas, and any such things. You can go all the way through debt payment, your emergency funds. I want to contribute $1,000 a month to emergency fund or something like that, and everything. Whatever category you decide to put in, that makes sense. This is the default set of category, but you can adjust it. We'll show it in another video on how to add new categories and or um, move them around and delete them. And so let's say you're happy with this. Uh, well, that this is what you think is going to happen. You can sort of look at your budget in a project yearly or monthly projection sort of way. So let's say we're yearly. You can see that I'm spending almost all of my money uh, every month. I'm slightly in the red at the end of the year based on this budget. So I might say, okay, I want to spend a little less money. So I'm going to say, you know what, I'm gonna try to cut back um, on my gas. I'm gonna drive less. We'll say 150, right? And then you can look at this again. Oh, okay. Now it looks like I'm in the black now. This is what I want to do. Now, realistically, people might cut back on more things that they have some control over, like eating out, different kind of discretionary spendings. And so you can do this. And once you are happy with that, uh, whether it's a category or breakdown of your expenses and or your overall picture, you can go, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm going to apply. So you apply budget to template. And what it'll do is it'll just apply numbers all the way across to the entire grid. And then that becomes your budget. That fills your budget file. And then from this point on, if you go back to tracking, you'll see that you have things to track against. In each month, right? In September, for example. Um, and another thing that you can do is you can do overrides. So like let's say I'm not happy with this. I think I can make more income than this. I'll say 2,500 a month. Then you can apply this. If you click on apply, it'll just fill in the gap. If you could override, it will override all the numbers that are there, and it will confirm. Okay, there we go. Here's all of my numbers reapplied into my income. And then look at my number again. Oh, like that's really good. And then you might say, okay, you know what? In this case, I'm gonna put more towards saving. Okay, then we'll go to saving. We'll say we can afford to save another $1,000 essentially. And then let's do that. Well, I'll say I'm gonna save $2,000 a month. And then I'm more sort of even in terms of where my money goes. And then you can do the same thing again here and say, I will override that line. Okay, so now when you go to your budget, you have all these things sort of applied in different places. And so what this allows you to do is to help you budget properly, and then you can track in the future. Again, this screen is a little bit overwhelming with a lot of numbers, and so I want to show you how to do this quickly to help you build a budget that's conceptually meaningful, and then you can sort of adjust as you go. I hope this is helpful. Have a good day.